we're about to get into a section where, although we've been kind of in accord right now, we're going to create some discord. We think that it's a useful way to engender some political debate and also work out our ideas. We call this section Let Me Land. For those of us not from London, what Let Me Land really means is you've got an idea. It's under a bit of pressure from your collocutor, from the person you're speaking to. But you say, let me land. Let me try and land this plane, even if it might be in choppy winds. So one of us each week will come with a hot take, bring a hot take to the table, and the other will do the best to chisel away at it till we find something in the middle. Okay, let's get into Let Me Land. There's the part of the show where I prepared a homemade hot take for Sean to examine, put under pressure, and you guys in the comments can work after, did I land it? Did I land it? 9 times out of 10, against this guy, I will land it.
Impossible.
Just
absolutely impossible.
So I've got today
Go on.
Is the clear as day statement. No matter how much we praise Zach Polanski, the Green Party cannot save us.
All right, so you're going to have to expand on what you meant by cannot save.
No, don't worry, I will. And what I mean by that is, yes, the Green Party doing great things. I hope they continue to do great things. Since Zach Polanski's become leader, I think they've added maybe a 10% membership vote share. I think there's problems with the Green Party historically in terms of how they're perceived and in terms of who they can get on board, even down to the name, which means that they will struggle to be the main party of the left or a totalising party in British Parliament and form a government. I also think there's big problems that have plagued a lot of left-wing movements over the past years in terms of, although we might all have the same material interests, we're all part of the working class, the lumpen proletariat, we might not have the same social convictions. And when those are weighed equally, that can cause a lot of contention. And what I mean by this is, to cast a broad swathe, we might have people that are both materially have similar interests economically, but socially we might have someone who could be seen as quite conservative in terms of their feelings toward women, reproductive rights, LGBTQ community, and just general cultural progression. And on the other hand, someone that is very progressive and sees that as perhaps a cornerstone of their political commitments, very pro reproductive rights, very pro LGBTQ community. And that can provide a big cause for contention among the left wing.
So just because of the existence of this tension, are you somehow suggesting that that's going to be the sticking point for why the Green Party can't save us in the future?
No. So what I think is that the Green Party is going to take up one of those slots. And what it looks like taking up is, everyone's agreed on the material interest. We're economically progressive.
Okay.
Or economically, let's say, egalitarian.
Okay.
We prioritize equality.
Yeah.
But the Green Party is taking up the section of socially progressive.
Okay.
That's very much a core, and has been a core theme of their politics for the past 20 years. But there's going to be elements of the left wing, the economically left wing, the economically egalitarian, perhaps religious people who don't have those same social convictions. And a big thing I always think about is primary political personalities. Although someone might be poor, they might see themselves first as a Christian. They might see themselves first as a Muslim. So although their economic interests are aligned with other members of the working class, they vote based on their primary political personality. And we live in a live in a first past the post system, and we need to get together enough constituencies to form a government. We need to be able to curry favour with both the socially conservative but also socially progressive members of the working class.
Yeah, so I think that's fine. That makes sense. But then that's not particular to the Green Party. That's just the problem with the left in general. And as opposed to sort of like starting the premise of saying, oh, they can't save us. Well, maybe they can, maybe they can't, but at least they're trying to, right? So sure, there's that sticking point, that tension exists. However, the deputy leader is literally a practicing Muslim, prays 5 times a day. And he literally got elected despite actually not giving in to many of the rhetoric that the party members wanted him to, talking about on things like gender. He refused to basically, define if he thinks trans women are women, that type of stuff, right? And so whilst I do appreciate that this tension exists, they've actually made some pretty good first steps towards resolving it. Not necessarily long term, but just in terms of their brand and identity. Now, the thing that I find the most convincing about what you said about the Green Party in particular is this idea of branding and then what image do they have in people's heads currently and voters. For that, I think the jury's out, right? Messaging is built by action, right? That the idea that even the brand Spotify, what is Spotify? What does those words mean? It means the things that people know it for, its values, right? And so if these leaders are really, really good, right? So my thing is like, if these leaders, the people leading it, right? Zach Polanski, Mohsen Ali, Rachel Millward, if they're able to actually impose that vision top down in a way that's convincing to people, I think like there's a lot of chance like they could quote unquote save us.
And I hope they do. But my thing is that we need to address on the left this tension between socially conservative members of the left and socially progressive members of the left. And the longer we go about avoiding that, the more chance there is that this tension is going to blow up in our face, as it kind of has done recently. And I think what we need to be more comfortable with is agreeing on the fact there's going to need to be a coalition of left-wing identities, a coalition of left-wing parties. They represent perhaps slightly different positions socially, but are aligned on their economic incentives. So as much as I hope the Green Party can save us, at present time, I think we're going to be looking towards a coalition of left-wing parties rather than just a Green Party saving us.
I think we're definitely moving towards a multi-party system. However, I don't think this, again, is like a particular problem that the Green Party has to deal with, but it's more just a people problem that is up to the people who want to help articulate and make a cohesive vehicle for change, i.e. the parties and the politicians. It's up to them to kind of resolve it. And so even though, this is a problem that we have to solve, I think the Green Party is actually the ones who are actually making the steps to do it in the way that other politicians probably aren't.
I hear it. And as I say, hopefully I landed that. If not...
he hears it though. So
no,
maybe
I do hear it. But this isn't just about me bouncing ideas off Sean and vice versa. We want to hear what you guys are saying. So get commenting. You're as political as we are. You're not just viewers, participants. I'll read all the comments. Sean, his brain's a bit fried, a lot of brain rot. He's more on scrolling, but I will read the comments.
That's how you know I want it, because he's hitting me with that.
So let us know.